appreciate it. If I get too loud, just shout me down. Okay. I want to start with something that's basic. For everybody, is everybody in here alive?
Yeah.
Has anybody in here ever lost someone you really loved? Yeah. Do you still kind of wish you, oh, well, if your husband or your wife is in here, you can't say that, you kind of still a little sweet on them even though they're not here? Okay, so all of us have those shared experiences, and even though I'm probably older than a lot of you, I do remember sex. Honestly, way back there somewhere. Yeah, almost. Anyway, there are things that all of us have that are alike, and things that all of us have that are different. All of us know certain things about each other and certain things we assume. For instance, I'll bet when you look at me, you assume that I can cook, right? Do you assume that? Is that an assumption? I have church members here who can testify, I can cook. Don't do that. So maybe you assume that I can sing. Can't do that. But we all have assumptions about people. That's kind of how we grow up doing that. Have any of you heard the expression, the dead know what the living are doing? I can actually prove that. When I was a little kid, I used to go to Clio, South Carolina, which is on number 9 Beach Highway all the time. And there was a woman there whose name was Miss Hood. And in her house lived the dead. She had their fans, she had their photos, she had their old scarves, she had their pictures, and she had them in one room. And if you were sitting there and you were very little, and you were swinging your feet, the dead would let your parents know that you were swinging your feet. So I do know they know what the living are doing. And then there was another woman who lived not far from there, and she wasn't as well known or as popular, and her name was Miss Cheney. And you may have heard me speak about her before. Miss Cheney lived in a little house that was frail, surrounded by a fence that was as frail. Neither one ever fell down. The thing about her was that she was not like all the other people. She didn't go to things, she didn't support things, and her house and yard had these ever-evolving gardens that were never ready for any season. But it's strange when you get older, you think you're going to remember the teacher who said this, or the principal who said that, or the preacher who said something that moved you to greatness or near greatness. But I remember Miss Cheney, because she carried these long tin pieces everywhere in her yard, and she didn't go to anything. I just remember that she kept doing no matter what, and I hope that I'll be able to do that no matter what. So it's not the people you think you'll remember that do all the great things, it's the people that don't do all the great things that you sometimes remember. And I hope you have people that you can remember like that. People that move you to greatness or near greatness, even though they may not be great themselves, or they just move you to putting one foot in front of the other. And then there's another little place that I come from, and it's called Waternear, South Carolina. It is a fictional place, and it is not a fictional place. People on Waternear are what they call Gullah. Only the other Gullah don't recognize them. They call them Bantabarian. Their language, idiosyncrasies, and other habits of daily living make them just a little bit different. Their greatest feat in life is to tell stories about stories. And so that a story becomes a story about ground steps, which you find on the sea islands. Ground steps are made by low water, high water, and they take you to monsters. Probably most of you have met a monster or two, I would imagine. Monsters on the sea islands are everywhere. They pull at you, they tear at you, they run you, and they're comforting to you. So a monster is not a bad thing, but a constant presence that is always supporting you. Waternear, South Carolina is full of, y'all ever heard of puff mud? It's full of puff mud and marshland and places that are foreign but yet not foreign. So you want to go there and be a part of that place. Waternear is a wonderful place. And it's a place where the dead do know what the living are doing and constantly remind you. Politically, I don't do that much humor, but I will tell you this. There is a place there at Waternear where you can run and run and run until your mouth can taste the water that your body craves. But until you're really big, you don't get that far away from the sound of the hum of a grown person's voice that you know and trust. It is the one thing that I can remember from childhood which makes me not afraid at night, not afraid in daytime, not afraid most of the time, because I know that someone is near, just as the water is near. And that's where that comes from. Waternear is about chills that pull you, and time that pulls you, and names that name you, and the hope that surrounds you. And then I go to this other crazy person in my life, and some of you know about it. She's called the church lady. Y'all know any church ladies?
Yeah.
I know a few. They're good, and then they can be bad. But the church ladies in my life had an interesting way of living. They never told anybody what to do. They suggested what you should do. They tried to show by example sometime, and then they led you in sort of a direction. One of the things I remember most, the church ladies in my life were my great aunts. They used to work with the preacher all week to try to make sure things went well, make sure there was dinner on the table, make sure the church looked nice, the new minister had a nice home. And then by Wednesday of the following year or so, they had to get together and make sure he didn't have a job there anymore. So they were pretty good church ladies. And then there were those other church ladies who pretended to do things like wear a hat, wear gloves, look nice, but not really do anything. And those ladies didn't make sure the minister didn't work that following Wednesday. They made sure you were no longer an usher in the church because you weren't wearing the right shoes. You didn't know that. Made sure you weren't singing in the choir because you kind of were a little off key. Those church ladies were my great aunts. And since I began with this, I'll stop again. The dead do know what the living be doing. Because right now they're saying, now why is that girl out there doing that? Talking about what we used to do. But I figure they can't really get me now. If I can manage to stay awake to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, they won't even catch me in my sleep. And then there's that other part of being a church lady and a member of a community. You got to make sure the community is doing the right thing. Are they driving the way they should be? Are they not driving? What are they doing? Those are things that women have taken care of for a long time, and we still do, and we still want to. And then I have to tell a little story about my favorite people. I work with some of them today. They're called the volunteer. Do you know volunteers? They fold, they pick up, they clean, they wash. They make sure the door is open. They make sure people get picked up on time. They make sure that things get done, those volunteers. But I will tell you a secret about them. Some of them are here, so you may have to follow me home. Volunteers are on the line. You know what that means? They're trying to get to help me out. And you do that by doing good work for good people and good times. And then there's that last person that I want to share with you, and that's just that community person. The person is always around the corner, always doing the right thing, always right there, but always maybe just a little bit wrong. And that's called the community man or woman. They go to the board meeting, they go to the town council, they make sure the grass is cut, they make sure you have a garden, they make sure the town looks good, and that people say, oh, isn't that Black Mountain a nice place to live? Those are your community people. I have a little joke to tell you about them too. Y'all do know they just trying to get in your good graces and get on that road to heaven too. And they'll make it. Mainly because they get you in your place on time. And then there are those other people that we know and we kind of like a little bit. And those people are called the do everything, do everywhere, do everything time people. They know what time you're supposed to be there. They know what time you're supposed to leave. They know how it's supposed to be organized. And they are all of us. So I think maybe what I really wanted to share with you is that people, no matter their age, no matter what ethnic group they come from, no matter what they believe, are just like you. They're just like me. And they're probably all going to manage to get to the door of heaven at the same time. Now, whether St. Peter lets him in or not is up to him, but I kind of think he will. Because all of us, at the heart of us, are good people. All of us, at the heart of us, are bad people. And all of us, at the heart of us, are funny people. Now, do you know that poem that says, I want to live in a house by the side of the road and be a friend of man? That's really not the way that goes. It's that other person that is the friend, not the person that lives in the house beside the road. It's all of those people that stop by to give you a ride, to stop by to pick you up, to stop by to ask how you're doing. So sometimes poems are not quite right, is what I'm learning in my life. So to live in a house by the side of the road and be a friend to man means that the man, the woman, is being a friend to you. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it, and I appreciate you being here.